Welcome back to the Jay Williams Experience podcast. I'm so excited because this is where we spotlight bold entrepreneurs and change makers. I'm your host, Jay Williams, and I'm so super excited, guys, because today I have someone who I admire so much. She is amazing. She is an entrepreneur. She's an author. She's a serial entrepreneur. Let's be clear. She is all about making that money, but she does it with class and grace. And her name is Nastasia Staten, known as Chef Diva. She is here. Hey, girl.
Hey, guys. Hey, girl. Hey, y'all.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. We had you on last year, I believe.
Yeah.
And we talked about, when you've got here, when you moved to Houston from Philly, right?
Yes, from Philly.
She's from Philly, y'all.
Philly girl.
Yes. And we just had a whole it was an experience having you on, and a good one. I mean, we talked and we laughed and we talked about all the amazing things that were going on in your life. But I want to talk about something serious and very, very impactful. When you were here before, we didn't touch on it too much, but we are at the 3rd year anniversary of you losing your fiance, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you talk to us about that? What happened and how are you doing?
Okay, she came in swinging,
we're coming in, yeah, because this
Get
is
ready. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because at first for a long time I couldn't talk about it.
Okay.
But then when I started putting myself out there, feeding the homeless, giving back to people more than I used to, even though I used to do it, but I started to do it more. I started listening to other people's stories of even how they became homeless.
Okay.
And being that's what made me wanted to start opening my mouth and started talking to people about it, because I said, at first I was like, well, if I talk about it, everybody's going to think I'm looking for sympathy. I'm looking for pity. Like every time you turn around, I mention, oh my gosh, I lost my fiance. Like I'm looking for pity. And that's how I felt. But in reality, it actually was meant for me to help heal some people. That's what I feel.
Okay.
So when I would go out to feed the people from, that were homeless, and a lot of people were on drugs, especially in my city in Philadelphia, it's a big opioid challenge. A lot of people are on heroin. A lot of people told me they were down there because of family members that they lost, friends, family, a spouse, especially parents or a sibling. And the pain that they dealt with, they didn't know how to come out of it.
Yeah.
Because they had no support. Nobody telling them maybe you should go to therapy. Nobody telling them, let me pray with you. It's going to be okay. And when sometimes people don't grow up in a big family or a loving family where they'll have that support to bring them out. Yeah. So then they turn to drugs. So they feel the pain, but they don't realize the pain is never going to go away. Yeah. Because that person is never going to come back. Right. So you keep drinking, you keep smoking yourself away from the pain, you're causing more damage to your body, to your life, to where now, you can't pay your bills. You don't even care what's going on in life. And then next thing you know, you're out and you're under the bridge and now you're doing drugs, and your whole life then changed because you didn't allow yourself to trust God in the situation.
Heal.
And if you don't know him, you won't grow out of this situation, because it's meant for you to get lost and get away and go hide and not be a purpose of this life. Yeah. And I just knew that with all the people around me, even you, your husband, different people all throughout helping me through this, just continuously showing me love and support as I'm going through it, allowed me to not drown. Yeah. I didn't want to live the first couple days, the first couple weeks, the first couple months. I kept saying, why you ain't take me with you? Like, how could you just leave me here, in this world? Because I felt protected. That was my protector. Yeah. That was my friend. That was my lover. That was everything to me. He was my everyday person, morning, noon, and night for a couple years.
We saw him.
Right.
We saw him. We saw you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's just was like, what happened? Like, where did you go? Like, how did you leave? Yeah. And no matter what people are telling you, it doesn't resonate, because you're not feeling what I'm feeling. Because after you say all that, you're still going home. You may be still going home to your husband, your children, whoever that you're dealing with that's in your home. Yeah. It was just us two in our home because we didn't have children. Yeah. So my house was empty. Like it's an empty home. I wasn't used to having an empty home. I wasn't used to it being quiet when I'm sleeping at night.
Yeah.
I'm used to getting up and saying, would you put your dang on nose thing on or something like that?
Yeah.
He didn't have a CPAP machine or anything, but he snored loud, and the doctor gave him these little strips, for him to breathe better or whatever. But it would just be like, dude, if you don't, come on, I can't even get no sleep. But then now it's like, where are you at to wake me up? Like, why am I sleeping throughout the night? I never slept throughout the night. It's just different stuff, that plays through your head that you miss. It's annoying when it's here.
Yeah.
But when it's gone, you're like, oh, what I wouldn't do for me to tell you to get up and put your thing on so you could, stop snoring throughout the night.
Yeah. The grieving process is so weird. Because it's such a slippery, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've been told.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. You don't know when you're going to grieve. Different things happen at different times.
Yeah.
It could be a song.
Yeah.
It could be a color.
Yeah.
It could be a car. It could be just a piece of chocolate.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, he loved that candy.
Yeah.
You're driving and then here goes a song that you love, right? And then it's... we used to listen to this song.
Takes you to a place.
It just takes you to a place. And that's when I knew, when certain songs were taking me to a place, I knew that it wasn't time for me to date nobody either.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people go wrong when they lose a spouse. And then they jump right into somebody within a couple months. There's no way that you can love that other person properly,
right?
Because you're still longing for the person that passed away. There's no way you're clear of that. It's just, it's a safety, a safety net. A rebound, it's like, hey, when you lose somebody, it's like you lose as well, depending on how deep your relationship was.
Yeah.
It was like my heart died. Everything died along with me when he died as well.
Wow. Well, the fact that you've been able to keep going in spite of is amazing. And I know that when you're out or if you're online or you're posting pictures, that's just a moment.
Right.
But you're living with every day.
Yep.
And trying to, move past or move through the grief. How are you doing that? Like how do you, are you seeing a therapist? Are you
so I had a therapist for at least a year and a half.
Okay.
She was amazing. She's a doula. She's a medium. Everybody don't believe in everything. So, judge yourself. I don't care.
Yeah.
God is a spirit and so is everybody else. So whoever you decide to pray to, talk to, believe in, we don't deal with like voodoo and devilish stuff. We pray before we have our sessions. We talk about, signs and different things because he was very active when he first passed away. And I know other people experienced, they just sometimes scared to talk about it, but I'm not. But he was very active. Things that he would do on a daily basis, he was doing that.
You mean after he passed?
After he passed for the first couple weeks, ice machine was making noise. The Keurig machine would come on randomly.
Oh, wow.
Balloons would move in the house. We had a clock on the wall that I never put a battery in. It worked for a while, and people that came to my house, y'all know because y'all sat in there, they asked me the other day, people was like, yo, you still got the clock, like it's still like, do you leave it on the wall for him to communicate with you? It's just different stuff that went on that he would let me know that he was there. And that's what I think helped me through as well.
I was going to say, did it help you or did it frighten you?
No, I wasn't scared.
Okay.
It's nothing to be scared of because I knew who it was.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't nobody trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
I knew that, you ever see the movie Ghost?
I have.
Okay, so that's basically how I felt that it was. He was trying, there's no way that I can see or hear him. So anything that he can touch, object, make something to attempt to make a noise to get my attention. It's really if you want to follow it or not.
I got you.
Because when people first die, a lot of people don't realize that the person is around doing a lot. It's if you want to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
If you acknowledge it, it can continue to go on. If you don't acknowledge it, it'll eventually fade away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe that because when my grandmother's husband passed away many years ago, I believe there were things that were happening. And she mourned a long time. She literally cried. I remember every day for at least a year. And it was hard to watch.
It's hard not to
as
cry.
A child, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because again, it's like, where does this person go that, I cry to? I come home and tell about my day.
Yeah.
I'm calling like, can you believe this B at work, or do you know what this mother effer said to me today? Like, wait till I come home and tell you this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, where did my friend go?
You're like navigating everything on your own now.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. It was different because I also got into a soft place. Girls, I was in the soft era. And when I lost my man, I was like, I got to take out the trash again.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? I never had to take out the trash. I haven't had to take out the trash in 3 years. That wasn't even a conversation about trash in my house because I never had to even look or think about trash. Yeah. I never had to think about the sink not working.
Yeah.
I didn't have to think about any of that. I didn't have to think about gas in my car. I didn't have to think about if the tires were new.
Woman.
Yeah, no, because I had to work. Don't sleep.
Okay. The soft girl era, there's a difference.
It's a difference.
Okay.
We weren't rich or anything like that. But I would just say he was a man's man. I didn't have to do, I was working, he was working, and we were a team, So it was more like, oh, if you cook, I'm going to wash the dishes, because I hated washing dishes, but I love cooking. He didn't feel like cooking, even though he was a chef.
Yes.
Once we got home, he didn't want to have to do nothing to do with that. But me being the woman, even though I'm a chef too.
Yes.
I still had to cook because I was the woman in the house.
Yeah. And that was okay.
And that was okay.
You weren't doing the dishes.
He only liked to cook breakfast.
Yeah.
Like most men.
Yeah.
So that was his thing. Anything beyond that, it was me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here we are 3 years later.
Yesterday, actually.
How are you doing?
I'm at peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm learning to love me. I'm learning to love myself. Like I said, when I died with him, all old habits went away with that. I feel like I birthed a new person. Anything before that, and I'm talking all the 35 years before that just went away from me, and I'm just trying to live a new, life, a new leaf and everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that he taught me, I feel like it's in me. So therefore, I know how to move better with people.
Yeah.
Discernment and things like that.
Yes.
Who needs to be around me, who doesn't. Not saying I don't love them and I don't wish anything bad on anyone.
Sure.
It's just that I know that, okay, and I burped twice, y'all, so beat it, okay? We're human, okay?
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
So it's just the discernment of people around you. If the energy hasn't been good for a while, it probably won't get better.
Right.
So it's just best to just keep yourself this way, and as we get older, just be cordial. There's nothing wrong with being cordial. I'm not disrespecting you. You don't disrespect me. Whatever you felt about me back then, here, you can't get over it in this moment while we're in this room.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, just don't say anything to me. I don't even want to yell. I don't want to yell. I don't want to do none of that. And if you look at me, and if people are watching me from when I went to college to who I am now, this would never have been me. I was loud. I was feisty. I was always, it's not in my spirit anymore. It's more just like,
now.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to be 38 next Tuesday.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even want to be bothered half the time. It's just like, hey, I'm peaceful. If you can't be peaceful, don't bring that over here. Don't bring your chaos over here.
It's like that's a requirement.
Yeah, like don't bring your chaos over here. We peaceful over here. I like to travel. I like to eat good.
Yes.
I like to read.
Enjoy life.
And just enjoy life. Things, I'm not saying things don't happen. Things don't come along.
Yeah.
Right? But it's just like, if you it's just not a rat race. So, just pace yourself daily. Yeah, and everything is just going to start falling in place.
And it always does. And my condolences again to the loss of your fiance. But let me just say that I've seen you grow. I mean, you are like a beautiful flower that's in bloom. Seriously, because you have done so many amazing things.
Thank you.
Since
oh yeah, a lot has happened.
Yes, yeah. Tell us about some of those things.
Since I was on your show last time,
yes, a lot has happened.
A lot has happened. So I have won 2 awards since the last time I've been on your show.
Yes.
I had won. It was the Superwoman Awards.
Okay.
That I won.
Because you are.
Actually, I wasn't. I was getting a Superwoman Award, but then they had an award for 10 people, 10 business owners, entrepreneurs. They were surprise awards, and we didn't have a clue. I didn't know that the House Representative, Ron Reynolds, was going to be there, and he talked about, women in business in Texas and different things like that. Y'all see I'm cheesing because I couldn't believe it. And I was just sitting there listening, enjoying the room. Because I was one of the youngest women in the room.
Yes.
Everybody was older than me, way more established than I was. And I just was like, I'm so happy to be in this room so I can meet these women to see, where I need to go.
Yeah.
Different things like that. And when they said my name, I had to look around, and then Miss Akila was like, Nastasia, and and I'm just like, me? And they were like, yeah, you got an award, from that. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, are you kidding me? Like, it's the state of Texas, not the city of Houston, not the city of Spring,
there's a difference.
Not the county, none of that. Okay. It's the state. Yes. And that made me feel good because it was like, okay, because, we work so hard. I've been a chef for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've had my travel business for 5 years.
Yes.
I've had my catering privately for 12, and then just the book came out. But see, when the book came out, Chris passed away not long after that. So I'd never been able to really focus on it.
Okay.
So it's just recently, that is starting to come, forth. And then I also won Lachey's woman the award too, the People's Choice Award.
Okay.
Yes,
congratulations.
And that was an award that I won that I didn't know I was going to win that either. So that was a blessing. It's always a beautiful event. The Sisters Supporting Sisters, that's what it's called.
Yes.
And she has it's Lachey's, and she does the award ceremony yearly. And her mom shows a documentary of women that were abused, growing up sexually, physically, anything, and a lot from their own family members to them coming up out of it and becoming successful women, some becoming married and different things like that. So it's a beautiful event. We all get to talk and, celebrate each other and things like that. So she has a panel. It's similar to, what we just did with the Superwoman Awards as well. So for her to be able to give me that award, for me to be able to speak, I was the last award, so I got to speak a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And it was just a beautiful time because it's just like you never know who's watching.
You don't.
Everybody knows I'm crazy. And I'm just, blunt or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just where I'm from. It's just it's the northern people are just different from southern people.
Oh, for sure.
It's not. And it's also the East Coast because you have Northwest and North, and then you have the Northeast. I'm Northeast. I'm Mid-Atlantic. And we come from that area, that New York, Baltimore, D.C., Philly, that right there where we have that more aggressive manner and tone, but it's not aggressive to us.
Yeah.
It's normal to us.
Yeah.
So when we get down here in the South, and things are going on, and we're talking to people, and we see things that we don't like.
Yeah.
Where we're from, when we see things we don't like, we tell people what we don't like and what we're seeing. It seems like down here a little bit, it's more like, oh no, they pointed that out. I didn't expect you to speak that out in front of everybody. Like, wow, you just called me out. Like, yes, I did, because you're not going to play in my face. It's just not, it's not good for me. It's not good for you. And different things like that. So it's just, when I get down here with a lot of people and different business people, a lot of people don't deal with me because of my bluntness.
Okay.
And some people do, some people don't. I have dealt with a lot of business people here in Houston where I've cooked for different people and different things. And some people are private people.
Yeah.
They would never know. They see me as professionally, but I'm just saying more in cliques and different people, we meet throughout or whatever.
But everybody's not your client, and it's fine.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So more people we meet throughout, even just within business.
Sure.
You can look at my social media and it can look crazy, but at the same time, if I'm coming in there to cook or anything like that, it's 100% professional. You don't even know who's in front of you. But some people can't see past that. They don't know this stuff is fun.
Yeah.
It's not even that. You can't be that deep into it because it's just, it's just stuff. You know what I mean? So it's better to get to know people than going off of that because you really don't know.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, I'm excited about all the awards that you've gotten because you deserve them.
Never had any before. And for me to get two of them in Texas, come on, baby. H-Town, y'all always turn me up.
You're stuck with us.
I am. Where am I going?
Exactly.
But I'm saying, when you're ready to buy a house, like, where are you going to be? Texas.
You told her Texas?
Yeah.
How did she feel about that?
I am, 38.
Yeah.
So wherever I feel is what I feel.
Well, this is true.
So,
Yeah.
no.
You can come visit.
My mom, the thing about my mom is that, like, she let us live our life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my brother lives in Orlando. I live down here in Houston.
Okay.
My other brother's in Mooresville, PA, which is, like, northern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And then, the baby, he lives at home or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like she always said, follow your dreams, because at the end of the day, my success is your success because you're being successful enough to take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Is what makes me successful as a parent.
So she did a good job.
You can take care of yourself. None of us live home but the baby, because he can't not live there, because he's only going to the 9th grade with his grown adult siblings.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. And so, I mean, so your mom is still in Philly. She's not planning to move anywhere?
No, she's in Dover. I mean, my mom's going to be 58. She'll probably be retiring in the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, once he gets out, she'll probably most likely move south.
Yeah.
Because she loves Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. She tried Texas already, the traffic and the mosquitoes and stuff. She just couldn't do it. She has to be near the beach.
I understand that.
We're Cancer, so we like the water.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you mentioned your book. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
In the title of your book,
it's The Grime.
The Grime.
To Glamour.
To Glamour.
Yes.
Okay.
So and then on the front of the book, which was really creative because I'm a chef, I put the red bottom shoes.
I was gonna say.
And I put the fork and the spoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's me becoming who I am today.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped it at a certain point.
Okay.
I didn't bring it I stopped it at the time as basically like when I got here and got started. Mm-hmm. But I haven't did anything since. So it's a whole another life going on after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I love that. And are you working on that?
I haven't.
No. Not yet.
I don't know. It's like I gotta feel it. I gotta want to do it.
You do.
The seasons with my career changes, they go in season.
Yeah.
And what's a blessing about it is, people, when you're starting your business, don't ever think that it's going to jump off from the first year or the first anything. The first year is all your mistakes. It's all what you're learning how to do.
True.
You're going to lose money. Mm-hmm. You're going to, lose people in the process, different things like that. So, the goal is to never give up.
Right.
So you got to think, when I say I've been a chef for 20 years, you got to think the stuff that I went through to be who I am today within that 20 years. It wasn't always glitz and glam. It wasn't always fun.
Yeah.
The travel business, me starting, of course, I'm better now than I was 4 years ago. And then in 4 years, I was better than I was the 3 years before that.
Sure.
Every year you got to grow. Mm-hmm. One thing I knew about the book was, when I put it out, was that it was residual income. Mm-hmm. So whether I get 1 book sold a month or 10 books sold a month, it was a check coming in. Sure. Slow money is better than no money. Always remember that.
That's a word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a word. Slow money is better than no money.
Yeah.
Sometimes that little $30 or $60 will pop up right when you didn't even expect it. Right, and you're like, oh my goodness, that's from the book. Great. Mm-hmm. But then you might end up, and it might be $400 or $500. And you like, oh, okay. I didn't expect this to coming in, you know? So that's where the residual income comes in. And that's residual income is like that with travel as well. Yeah. Because most people make payment plans. Okay. So it's more like, once you get that booked, the goal is to get them to the finish line.
That's right.
Once they get to the finish line, your job is done. So it's kind of good that sometimes people are taking 4 or 5, maybe 6 months or to a year to pay a trip off. Yeah. But just know, once they get past that threshold, that's a check for you always.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah. And I love that they have those options. They didn't have those.
No, they didn't. Travel has changed so much. It's so much different things people could do. And that's why I tell people, when they say they can't afford travel, you can absolutely afford travel. Yeah. I have so many different programs in my business for you to afford travel. Mm-hmm. So whereas, I'm throwing trips away. Yeah. People have to be, again, willing to step out their comfort zone. Yeah. I have like trips where I sent people $600 for 2 people going to like Tulum or, Punta Cana or whatever, 5 days, 4 nights, 6 days, 5 nights. And all you got to do is do a 90-minute presentation. Yeah. You can't take a 90-minute
That's
out of a
nothing.
6 week, it's not a 6 week, 6 night vacation where you're getting free food and
You
free
can.
drinks.
You can.
You can. Because guess what? They're also offering you a little bit of drinks and food while you're on your little bit of tour.
Yeah.
You have no obligation to do anything. And Lord, I hope none of them see it because they go, ooh, Lord, you don't have obligations to anything.
You don't.
And it's just like, this is how I can get you to travel. This is how we can travel cheap. I don't want to sit through those 90-minute presentation stuff. And then I'm like, it's not really a presentation because the first 30 minutes is them letting you snack on breakfast.
Yeah.
And then
and it might be something you might be interested in, actually.
But this is what I'm saying. And then you're going to see the property for about a good 30 minutes. And then you're getting sat down and talked about, how you could join or get one of these properties or anything like that. If it's something you want, you take. If it's something you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
But who's passing up $600, $700, $800, $900 trips?
Yeah.
Out the country. And then if you want to go to like Disney and different places like that, we have stuff at $5.99, $4.99. It's just people don't want to take the presentation.
Yeah.
They'd rather pay the $2,000-$3,000 to go for the week just so they don't have to take 90 minutes out of their day to do this. And it's just like, hey, you gotta want to learn things.
There's
some people have a problem with learning. Some people have a problem with expanding their attention. Like they can't sit through things and sit through things. Some people have a fear of things. And I don't know what the fear is because you're knowing, okay, well, I just need to go and I don't like it. I don't need to buy it. But it's like, why not go get educated by something? It's nothing that you have to have or you have to do. But these people are being paid to do their job, and their job is to show you the property, see if this is something you're interested in. And they have 50 million other ones. But if you're not, you're not. If you are, you are. It's up to you. But at the same time, you have no obligation. And now you just went on vacation for $600 to $1,000 for nothing for 90 minutes of your time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah, it is.
That's a win.
It really is.
That's a win. And tell us the name of your travel business so everybody can connect with you on travel.
Yeah, it's Sociable Travels.
Okay.
And that comes from me being a chef, traveling and stuff like that. When everybody's travel business is different. I have different people that I know that own travel businesses and they do different things. Some people like me, I love to do all inclusive.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm a chef.
That's the only way to travel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but see, I'm a chef and I don't feel like getting up to making sure you got to eat and I got to stop and cook the whole time or got to worry about the chef doing that. But some people don't mind that. Me, I like to take you to an all-inclusive where food and drinks I don't have to worry about, but I do love to take you out on the tours.
Yeah.
Take you on excursions so I can show you the country. We go do different things. We always go eat off the resort. We're always going into nature, whether we're on the ATVs, where we're zip lining or anything like that. We're always on a party boat.
Yeah.
There's never no trip that I don't throw that we don't do a party cruise.
I love that.
And that's all you could drink on a boat and we party and then you go snorkeling and sliding down off the boat and it's the music and it's a good time.
Yeah.
So, and I do that about 4 times a year.
Love that. Excursions are a must as well.
And some people, when they go away, they don't want to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So my trips are more considered event trips. So that's why there could be a little higher when I'm actually hosting.
Sure.
Because everything's already done for you. The shuttle to and from the airport, I already have that already in the price. Or like I said, the excursions.
Yeah.
And then and the transportation to and from the excursions. A lot of people don't know all that costs.
Oh yeah.
It's not just getting to there. All of that has to be paid for up front. But all you have to do is get there and check in.
Wow.
And and your itinerary is ready for you.
That's a VIP experience.
It really is. And a lot of people do come and they're excited. And we did Jamaica in April like we always do. So we got Dominican coming up the 15th to the 22nd
of July.
So it's going to be a good time.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of people coming.
Yeah.
And they're excited and we're excited.
Well, let me just say, I want to say a year, maybe 2 ago.
Okay.
And you had posted your trip to the Maldives.
Oh, yeah.
And that water.
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah. So I went 36 hours away from America.
That's crazy.
So I left here from Houston at 9 p.m. at night. It was on Emirates, which is, expensive plane for sure.
For sure.
And it's a difference, guys. So please know that when you're taking a flight 15, 20 hours away.
Yeah.
It's not the plane that you're getting on going to a state or the
Yeah.
Caribbean. These planes are 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
Some of them have showers on them. Some of them have full bars on them, you know, phones and everything. So on Emirates in business class, you know, you can lay down.
You can sleep.
Yeah, you can sleep. They have water for you. They have TV, music, everything. Then they feed you 3 times a day.
I would hope so. 36 hours.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, no. So not on that plane. So that plane was 17 hours.
Okay.
So all you can do is sleep and eat. But you can walk around anytime you want. They have a pantry in the middle of the plane with fresh fruit.
Nice.
Hot towels and things like that to kind of keep you replenished because it's a lot being on the plane that long.
Yeah.
And then when you get off, I had an 8-hour layover in Dubai. So I had to stop in Dubai to get on the next plane.
Okay.
So then from there, I went to Malé. So it took me 5 hours to Malé, which is the capital of the Maldives, which is their city. And then from there, you either, oh my gosh, y'all. And then from there, you're either catching a seaplane, which is $400 round trip, which is a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Or you're catching the propeller plane to the island, like into the middle. And then you got to get on a speedboat.
Just to get to
to get there. Because every resort is on one island.
Really?
They have over 1,500 islands over there. Because they have the east, the north, the south, and the west. But there's not enough space for multiple resorts. So literally each island has one resort on there. So it's no escaping because we're in the middle of the ocean. Like there is no land.
Wow.
Yeah. And 36 hours. So from the time I left my house at 9 p.m. on I think I left Monday night. Monday night. I got there Wednesday afternoon at 3:30 p.m. is when I sat down and they handed me a glass of champagne on Wednesday.
Oh my God.
But when they greeted you with the boats, they had the drums out.
It was
amazing,
they
had the towels. Oh my goodness. It was so welcoming.
Yeah.
They're all our complexion, you know, because that's Southeast Asia.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So it's Southeast Asia. A lot of them are Indonesian.
Okay.
Sri Lankan.
Okay.
Oh, they some beautiful people.
Really?
Ooh, I said, wow. You know, where y'all been all my life? Because it was like they're similar looking to Trini, to people from West Indies and things like that. So, and that's what Sri Lanka is, like mixed up of that because they're the Caribbean of the Southeast Asia area.
Okay.
So Sri Lankan, and they have 4 different sections in their country as well. So where they have the mountains, the eco-friendly, the beaches, and the city.
Okay.
So there is, and you can enjoy it there. Of course, our money is 10 times more. So it's always better when you get over there to visit the other countries because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take as long.
Okay.
So I did a week in the Maldives. I was in an overwater bungalow. At a pool.
I love those overwater. Let me tell you, that is a bucket list thing.
Oh. Well, y'all need to get with me. Stop traveling by yourself. Y'all need to book with me, and I'll go ahead and give y'all all of that experience.
I love it.
They had the water slide that went down into the ocean.
Yes, I saw that.
And then a pool on your balcony. So that was private. So that was good for couples because, you know, you could do whatever. Like nobody could see your you up there because it was like big walls on each side.
Really?
So you had your own private pool and everything. And it was all inclusive.
Okay.
So everything was 24 hours. And let me tell you one thing that I had the best over there and I'm a huge water drinker.
Okay.
Okay, we say water. You know, a lot of people be talking about that. You know, water. Y'all know what water is. Water.
We know what water is, yes.
They had some of the best water I ever had in my life.
Really?
Yes, their water was called crystalline. It was like a crystalline water. They don't use plastic bottles over there.
Okay.
And it makes a big difference. So they were delivering us water every day in glass bottles.
Oh, wow.
Yes, very, very
Clean
upscale.
water, huh?
And I'm talking like every day they had salmon and halibut and lobster and shrimp. And we were actually the only African Americans literally on the resort at the time because they were like, y'all came this far for a holiday? Like Americans being in the Maldives, Americans being in the Maldives is like very far-fetched.
Yeah.
You know, like you'll catch some.
Okay.
But some people are not traveling that far for paradise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when they were like, you came this far, so it was kind of cool because we were actually able to learn different cultures. A lot of different Middle Eastern families were there, people from, you know, Europe, and they were saying that was already just 10 hours from them getting there and I'm coming 36 hours. And they're like, you coming 36 hours just for some sand, water and beach and food and stuff. And I'm like, no, this is an experience.
Yes.
When we got there, it was baby sharks, like, on the edge of the beach.
Wow.
And people were just, like, standing in it. And, where we come from, we ain't standing in nobody's baby shark, nothing.
No.
And I'm
We're getting away from
like, is this normal?
Yeah.
If they're right there, where's the parents?
Yeah. Exactly.
I was out on my deck at 4, 5 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a stingray that was the size of the bungalow, came up under the deck, and the shark had to be a good 7, 8 foot that was behind him.
Oh, wow.
My heart
Oh, my God.
stopped, because just think, like, and this is why I could not go into that ocean.
Yeah.
Like, I did that one day, and I swam so fast.
I bet.
And they were like, do you want to put a life jacket on? No, I know how to swim. The life jacket to me holds me back.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I was trying my best to get from that little point to them steps as fast as I could.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but what could you do? Because you were in the middle of their living room.
That's right. That's right.
I mean,
what are you doing
what
here?
an experience. Yep. And then from there,
I
went to Dubai for the week.
Okay.
Yes, I spent 2.5 weeks over
I love it.
In the Middle East. And I mean, it was gorgeous.
Girl, what is the jet lag for you?
It was, well, actually, it was only 5 hours. Well, actually, no, that did take a little longer because I had to take the speedboat to the little plane, to the plane. Okay. So that probably was maybe more like 8 or 9 hours by the time I got there.
Yeah.
But man, when I got to Dubai, oh my gosh, you guys, they treat you like royalty.
Yeah.
It's like you're rich over there.
Yeah. So I need to go.
Yeah, you need to go. I mean, they pick you up in Range Rovers, Rolls Royces and things like that. The cop cars.
That's just regular there.
Yeah, the cop cars are Bugattis in certain, areas.
Yeah.
You're going to run into Arabian princes and princesses. And I mean, it's like a whole world of people that you never met. All kind of different African countries like Cameroon and different things, people living over there.
Yeah.
Different people from like Japan and different Asian countries. Not as much, you do have Americans, but not as much. And that's the best thing about when you're going out into the world.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize what goes on outside of their world.
They don't.
And when you don't go outside of your own world, you're blocking yourself from more of what you could do for yourself and what you could do for others.
Yeah.
Just education, about how people live every day, So it was different. And I thank God for it. That was an experience I never thought I would have.
Like I said, I saw you online and just the water was clear. I mean, it was clear.
It was clear at night.
Beautiful.
I thought I'd seen some clear water in Turks and all them different countries. The Maldives is a different monster. That water was clear in the nighttime. Like you can see through it at night. That's how I was able to see them animals, you sea creatures come through, because all you had to do was look down.
Wow.
It was the clearest water I ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Yep. And
Would
that's
you
why
ever go back?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't want to go that far.
You're good.
I did it.
You're done.
People like, oh, we're going to host the Maldives. I don't think so.
They've asked you?
And Maldives is not cheap.
Yeah, I believe
you have to have some money for there. That's actually not as cheap as you think. Maldives, you're looking at about $100 per plate per meal.
Okay.
So that means that's $300 to $400 a day to eat.
Per person. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is. And that's why I said that wasn't a cheap trip. That was about a 1.5 to 2 year payoff.
Yeah.
And then going, to Dubai from there. But, when I went to Dubai, I did underwater dining at one of the most famous restaurants in Atlantis with Chef Gregor or whatever. I got to be with him, which he is amazing. And I had 11-course meal.
11 courses.
11 courses where he was like, I had jellyfish. I had sea rocks. Jellyfish, sea rocks, all kinds of stuff, that I never ate before, that he went diving for.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's top notch.
Wow.
Yeah. And then when we were in the Maldives, I was able to get a 6-course meal from Chef Tom Brown over in Britain. He's like Britain's top chef. So I didn't know. I was like, and this is the thing, is I was grieving. hard. I went over
During
there
that
to
time.
release and everything, and I was being blessed by these chefs that make like millions of dollars, and I'm getting my meal, you know, for free. They're like comping my meal because I'm like, hey, I'm a chef in America, this and that, showing them the stuff, and they're just like, oh, okay,
You're like,
cool.
we're family.
Yeah, and then I think they thought I was cute too. So,
well,
you know, just a little bit.
Sometimes
I was like,
you gotta finesse a little bit. It's
fine. They thought I was a little cute. I said, okay, yeah. They was like, oh, this little, you know, because I was by myself.
Yeah.
You know, my best friend did go with me to Maldives, but when I was in Dubai, I went alone because that was where Chris always wanted to go.
Yeah.
And that was a trip for us.
Okay.
And he didn't make it. So I went and did the trip for him.
Yeah. Wow.
I put his ashes in a lot of places over there as well.
Did?
I did. Yes, I did.
Wow.
So he can live over there in paradise as long as he wanted to.
That's so beautiful that you did that.
Yeah, I want him to be rich in his other life. He, you know, be like that. So he can send all that spirit over here.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so what is next for you?
Well, you know, I am, like I said, you know, loving me.
Well, you're always on the move.
Yeah, I rebirthed. Like I tell people, I feel like I'm rebirthed. Yeah. You know, I feel good. It's like I don't feel any hurt. I don't feel no happiness. I don't feel anything. It's just like I just feel like I'm here for a purpose.
You are.
And it's coming, you know, and it's like I'm being calm in it because I went through this storm and a lot of people probably didn't even expect me to come up out of it. Yeah. And they probably are trying to figure out how I'm still coming up out of it, how she's still doing this and how she's still doing that. You know, it's always God. And some people will be like, oh, you know, people always say that, but I don't see it. You got to want to see it. Yeah. You got to want to feel it. Yeah. You got to want to know that he can do this. You know, you got to want to put the music on every day. You know, you got to want to pray. True. You got to want to tithe. Yeah. Tithing is big. Yeah. And if people don't realize that, you know, when you tithe, you know, that's just him constantly opening and expanding your territory. I'm big on tithing. I'm big on fasting.
It's required.
It is required. And a lot of people be like, oh, why do I have to do this and do that? It has nothing to do with the church. It's between you and God. If this is the place that you're going to for praise and worship, you're getting food afterwards and different things. That stuff don't run for free.
No, it doesn't.
How are they supposed to pay for it? The government don't pay for churches.
That's right.
This is a place that you come and you enjoy and you worship and everything. And you know, I'm Wheeler Avenue right here.
Okay, Wheeler Avenue.
Okay, Wheeler. Okay, Dr. Crosby. Hey, y'all. So, I've been going there since I got here. Okay. And I have tried different churches. You know, I've been to Fallbrook. I went to Grace. I went to Joel Osteen's church or whatever. Can't do anything. It's something about Wheeler. When we had the old church, we had 4 services for us to be, you know, putting into that building fund. Yeah. For the years that we were and everything, and for the church to manifest. Yeah. It's like, I belong here because it was something that we trusted and it was done. And you know, that man, you know, him and his wife, they got it going on and they make sure that we have everything we need. Well, they have some of the most resources. Like Wheeler Avenue is probably one of the most resourceful churches in the city of Houston. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pillar in the church in the city for sure.
Yep.
And I listen online from time to time.
Okay, yep.
And it is amazing.
Now, it is.
We attend, my husband and I attend Lighthouse Church.
Okay.
Under Pastor Keon Henderson.
Okay.
And it is phenomenal. So, but I do understand.
No, I always like to come visit others.
But you have to find your, you know, what's right for you.
Well, you got to think I've been here for 10 years, right? So when I first started going there, I was younger, okay? And he had 1 o'clock service. Yeah. I was younger. I was 28 coming into Houston. I'm like, I got a party at night. Y'all want me to get up to go to church? And then it was like, well, I was going to church at home, and I'm like, I got to go to church, right? Because if I don't go to church, my life not going to be right. You know, because some of us live like that. Everybody don't, but hey, I do. So, and I'm just like, okay, what am I going to do? And then he was like, you know, he had 1 o'clock service. And 1 o'clock service was his praise party. And that was us at a certain age group. A lot of the college students from TSU and UAH, because you know it's right next door. Yeah. And then us young adults. And we were coming in at 1 o'clock in the afternoon for church.
To get your church on.
To get our church on.
That's
and he used to say, I know how many of y'all was at the club last night. He would ask us. We would let him know. Yeah. But we was in there having a praise party. He used to tell us that we were his like 1 o'clock was his favorite group because he could say whatever he wanted to say. Yeah. You know, the Saints are in at 7 and 9. Right. So he has to be on time and be very filtered. That 11 o'clock, he get that break because it's like half and half. But that 1 o'clock, It was all us.
Just take
and
the
that's
mask
young.
off.
He could take it off, and he had children growing up our age at the same, like, as well.
Yeah.
And it was just like, he wasn't just talking to us. He had kids our age, so he was talking to all of us.
Yeah.
So that's what I respect about that, and that's why I love the church, and that's why I said at that time we were at 4 services. Now we're at the 2 because what he said, what was going to be done, and we know that was from God, and just trusting Him and doing that, both of them, and it's a beautiful thing. But I do go visit other churches as well.
Yeah, but you can tell that you're grounded in church. Because I believe that is one of the things that has been able to keep you, throughout all the things that you've had to go through.
I tell people, God's grace, right? Because
God's grace. Indeed.
When they say He get the victory in the end, I understand that now.
Yeah.
What the devil meant for bad, it was meant for good.
Yeah.
Maybe that experience, whatever that was meant to make me the woman who I am now. So therefore, whatever He's bringing to me, I can accept it better. I'm more humble in the situation.
Yeah.
I don't have to. A lot of people think I speak about a lot of stuff that I do, and I don't. They don't know half of the stuff that I do. It's just what I want you to know.
Sure.
If people don't understand, my businesses are customer service based business, and I sell things. I sell travel. I sell catering. I sell books. I do taxes. That's me selling you a financial service.
Yeah.
I'm going to always be posting constantly, because if I don't, how are people going to know about the business? How are people going to come? How are they going to book? How am I going to be able to pay my little bit of people that I have and my little virtual assistant and things like that? It's not, it don't come for fun or for free.
Yeah.
The same way you watch people on TV sell KFC and Chili's and, Liberty Tax and all these other companies. It's just me. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm doing it for myself. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Thank you.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
Let everybody know how they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram at Diva's Gourmet Budget. Like I tell everybody, I don't have a lot of followers.
She does.
And I don't have a lot of likes. But likes are not dollars.
Period.
So I always remember that. Likes don't mean you going to the bank.
No.
We go to the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you so much for being here.
Thank you.
For telling your story.
Yeah.
For walking us through your victory story, because that's what it is.
Yeah. And then it was hopefully it's here to help.
Yeah, of
some
course.
people, and hopefully I can talk about it more to help some women, because a lot of people had came to me at different times and say, when they had literally just lost somebody.
Yeah.
And I know what it felt like at the beginning, because you're confused. Like, is this really going on?
Yeah.
Like, if this really just happened to me?
Yeah.
Like, your whole life like comes to a stop.
Yeah,
it's like whatever you had planned and whatever you had going on, it just stops.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do I do from here? But see, that's the time where God is like, you got to lean on me so I can take you to where I'm trying to take you to out of this.
Yeah.
But it's going to take time. You just got to trust me.
Ooh.
And I started trusting Him.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, I'm open, I'm ready, start dating.
Are you?
And different things like that. I am. It's been almost 3 years. I'm about to be 38. I think it's time.
I'm so happy to hear you say that.
I think it's time. It's time to, get out here and start dating, because
let
like
him find
we said, we deserve a husband. We deserve a family.
Let him find you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not looking for anybody.
Correct.
Yes. So not looking for anybody, but I am, I'm open, to
I'm
life experiences and things like that now. Yep, I am.
I love that for you. All right, y'all heard it here first, because she hasn't said it out loud.
I know, right? I know, exactly. I'm even like, for my birthday, like, I'm finally going to like change my profile picture.
Oh, okay.
And everything. I'm just moving forward, because I didn't know a lot of people, when they see it, if they're not paying attention, they're thinking I'm still in the relationship,
Sure,
very respectful. I don't have no men, being disrespectful or anything like that, because I don't present myself that way, okay, business is business. I try not to mix it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of people that haven't said anything because of that. So I think it's time for me to go ahead. I think he's more at peace with it too. Like, go ahead. And I think he'll send me somebody good.
Yeah. He's always going to be with you, but I do believe he would want you to enjoy your life.
Yes, absolutely. Because I would want him to do the the same.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Mhm.
I love that for you,
Thank
girl.
you, girl.
Well, I just want to say this has been an incredible conversation, and I do appreciate you for being here. Thank you again for being
No,
here.
I really appreciate you. I feel like the last time I came, you know, just the stuff that happened in between is
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's good, you know, and I
Yes.
appreciate you because you allowed us to expose ourselves.
Mhm.
A lot of people watch this, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
loves the,
Yeah.
you know, listen.
Yeah.
We will like to watch like the different people that you have on, and I think you helping us a lot. You know, thank you to you because you're giving us a platform, especially for us small business owners that, you know, we're trying to get where we need to, and we might not have the funds to
Yeah.
do it, or you know, just anything, you know, just know that you don't have to stop. I'm getting a
Yeah.
little tongue tied because I'm like, I have so much to say, but then I'm like, let me
Well,
relax or
I'm
whatever.
super inspired. I feel like, you know, I'm always I'm looking for inspirational journeys to greatness. I believe you are greatness.
Thank you.
And you show, I mean, you're authentic and true to who you are. You always have been, though. I mean, from
I try to
the
be.
day I met you to current day, you have always been exactly the same. And I appreciate that. Very supportive. And I do appreciate
Yeah,
you.
you gotta
I
support
do.
people. You know, my
You
thing is
do.
if you're watching people trying to be better
Yeah.
and they're supporting you, you have to support them back. And
I
I be
agree.
mentioning that, like, we all have different businesses. We all support each other. But it's like, why are we not keeping it in a family? You know,
Yeah.
why are we looking for other people to do things? You know, if I'm patronizing you, patronize me back.
Yeah.
You know, different things like that. You know, and that's where we get it wrong in our community because either we're all trying to do it all, okay, or we're like, well, I don't really like that person like that, or let me try somebody else because it might be a little bit cheaper. Except for thinking, well, the quality of the person giving you the product could be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because you might pay somebody to do something and they might just give you mediocre compared to somebody that may have a little bit more experience, you know, like with travel, for example. Say, you know, you're an agent and I'm an agent.
Yeah.
I've traveled all over the world. You have traveled, but not as much. You're booking people in cities that you know nothing about, but then when they're asking you questions about it, you're not trying to help them by saying, well, you know what? And I tell people when I haven't been somewhere, I have no problem saying, oh, I've never been there, so I'm not sure how this goes, but let me check with a friend that I know did, or let me get on here and research this country a little bit more so I can see if actually this is a good fit for you or not. You know, because why would I send you to Panama and you're not eco-friendly or Costa Rica? You know what I'm saying? Because just know that you could get a little bit of beach there, but you're not. You're going to mostly run into animals and different things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that what you, that's not what you want. Let's not be going to that country. A lot of people like to go to countries because they like the names, the names.
They see it on TV.
Oh, I want to go to Costa Rica because, ooh, that sounds sexy. And it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, but, you know, the snake might be hanging up off your window in the morning. You know, you okay with that?
Right.
You know, so it's just, it's better to have, you know, it's good to have people with knowledge when you're getting something. So you have to understand that people with knowledge, it's going to cost more. Yeah. Because we know that we can give you a little bit more. We can give you more of an experience.
That's valuable to me. That means everything to me. I don't want to go into something and not know what I'm going into. I need you to tell me and be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I was doing with my trip to Dominican. We're doing the Zoom, and I said I need everybody on this because if you've never been out the country, I need to explain to you what it's like being out the country. Yeah. You are no longer in America. Yeah. The same way you expect other people from other countries to come here and understand you is the same respect you have to have when you're going to their country.
That's right.
We are going to a Spanish-speaking country, meaning they do not have to speak English to accommodate you. Correct. You need to learn how to accommodate yourself there. Yeah. Put your translator on your phone if you're trying to have a conversation. Yeah. And different things like that.
Respect
if you
the
know
culture.
and respect them. They don't have to speak English because you're there. Right. That's not their job. Yeah. Their job is to do what they have to do here at the resort or whatever. The people that we're dealing with, tour guides and the front of the house, the front of the house, what is the receptionist? Sure. Concierge. Yeah, of course, they speak English. Sure. But you're not going to get the maintenance people or the housekeeping and stuff like that. They're not going to be speaking English. So it's like, you know, have patience. Yeah. You know, use your translator. Don't be ignorant.
But even the fact that you would stop and do that and educate the people
and
let them know.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That you don't get that.
No, because you got to know you're not going to be home and you want to come back home. Let me make sure I'm going to show you how to come back home.
Right.
We're not acting fools over there. We're not going to be on nobody's TikTok throwing pineapples and acting crazy. We don't do that in other people's country. And this is a business. I have a huge rapport with Dominican Republic for sociable travels because the amount of people that we book over there and the people that we know, the tour companies that we're with and things like that. So I wouldn't dare go to that country, doing that. And I don't want people don't know because you never know who's booking with you.
Correct.
That all inclusive, that drinking.
Yeah.
That drinking or that free drinking.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. People go different places when they drink.
Yeah, they do.
So it's just like, just be a little bit responsible. Try to know your limits. Have fun. I don't care if you get drunker than Cooter Brown. I don't know. I don't know. Exactly. But make sure if you're going to get like that, let us know so we can escort you up to your room and get you situated. But at the same time, we're on vacation and we don't want to have to do that. I don't want to be babysitting nobody. I want to enjoy my vacation too. So, but I'm excited to have them come, and just enjoy life. Yeah. And once you start traveling, you never want to stop traveling.
No, no. I love it. Thank you. I love it. It's you, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Travel queen.
Man, if I can't travel, I can't. My friends be like, you're addicted to a plane. It's like, I gotta smell it.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, it's after 30 days I'm at home, I'd be like, okay, where can I go for a couple days to get out of here? You know, because you see, I went from Jamaica to Vegas to Orlando to Philly within 2 to 3 months. And then,
back to back.
Because it's my season to travel.
I know that's right. I love it.
Before I get busy again, all from September all the way up to April. So, yep, absolutely.
You better enjoy it while you can.
I do. Yes, I do.
Well, listen, I appreciate you for being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been an amazing conversation. I adore you, but you already know that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Jay Williams Experience. Make sure you go and follow me on YouTube and subscribe. And until next time, peace.